Hey everyone, today we begin to set the tile for the glam shed, and if you're curious what this orange stuff is, keep watching and we'll be talking about it. We're very excited because we're only but a few episodes from finishing everything related to the shed, but today we're doing tile, and I said I would talk to you about this orange stuff. So this orange stuff is actually, its name is Schluter Ditra, and it has this waffle shape, and it also has this kind of like cloth in the back, and effectively its purpose and its official name is a decoupling membrane. So what this allows us to do is we put this with thinset against the concrete structure, and then on top with thinset as well we put the tile. And effectively, this allows the building to move and shift and whatever independent completely of the tile. Because if they were to be stuck, then the tile is very likely to crack. But with this decoupling membrane, the building is free to do whatever it wants, and then it won't be cracking the tile. So what we're going to be doing now is, as you can see, I have laid everything up, and then we're going to be setting it with thinset. And the beauty about this system is that as soon as we set the thinset, we don't need to wait for it to cure. We're ready to start setting tile. We have installed all of the Ditra, as you can see, and now we're getting ready to install the tile. So a couple of things before we install the tile. We are using some of our Schluter profiles. Here's one of them. This is what we'll be using for the perimeter. So effectively, this will go everywhere. And actually, we were just noticing that we need to cut our foam now because this will be next to the medite now. And if we remove the foam later, you're going to be able to see the foam. So we don't want that to be there, so we're going to have to trim down the foam and install the profiles. So what's the purpose of the profiles? To some extent, they make your grouting easier because they act as a grout. They also act as a decoupling from the walls and everything. So yeah, everything about Schluter is about decoupling. So this will go around the perimeter, and we'll be taking care of that. We have actually another profile, which is this one, and this is actually a control joint. So if you look at the rules of the manual of tile, there's like a fancy number or whatever. You have to basically add control joints every, I think, 12 by 12 feet. Because it basically acts like concrete. So if you have a concrete slab, you need to add the control joints so that you can define the cracking within the concrete. It's effectively the same thing with tile. You add the control joint so that you don't get unwanted cracks in your tile. And so the reason we're using this is because we have an interesting spot right here at the front. Even though we tried to level everything to this step, we were not successful. And this front step ended up being about a 1/4 inch taller. So that's causing us a little bit of difficulties. So that's why we decided we're going to be cutting the tiles specifically to size in this step. And then we're going to be adding a control joint in between this step and the rest of the floor. Because this step is a little bit higher, we're going to be running a slight slope into the shed. Yeah, so next, with that out of the way, we were thinking, okay, how do we set our tile and everything? So as you can see, we actually have this foot by 2 feet, so 12 by 24 inch tile. And it is recommended, and even if it wasn't recommended, to lay it out on thirds. So as you can see it here, it's 1/3, 8 inches, 16 inches, 8 inches, 16 inches. So that's going to be basically our layout, and it will have this pattern overall. So what we've done is we laid it down on the floor, and we noticed that we would end up with a very tiny piece of tile on one side. So we decided to shift the pattern to one side, and then it should be looking nice. So yeah, and then finally, I won't be talking about these guys too much right now. These are the spin doctor leveling system. So I'll be giving you my opinion on them. This is the first time using them as soon as we start installing tile.
You probably noticed that we trapped ourselves out there and we had a bridge to come out, and that was on purpose, and that's because we really wanted the front of the room to look nice, and with our lack of experience with tile, we were not feeling comfortable starting from the back, so this was the way of doing it. If you have any tips for us on how to deal with this, please let us know in the comments below. And now let's go and remove the spin doctors. We chose Spin Doctor as our leveling system, and we really like it. So it has three components. The first one are these disposable pins. This is the only disposable item in the system. And then you put two of them, like so, on the tile. And then the next step is using this cap. This one is reusable. It goes like so, and the idea is that it's going to protect the tile from scratching when you set up the spinner. So the way this works is as you spin it, then this is going to pull the tile up, and then since it's beside the other one, it's going to keep everything perfectly level and flat. So it did a pretty good job. Our floor is looking really good despite all the unleveling we had below. But now here are a couple of learnings we had, and this is really user error. The system is great. So one is that our thinset should have been a little bit thicker, because what ended up happening was that the thinset was also coming out from where we are going to install the grout. So now we had to come back and clean it. So the other thing with the other problem with that is that if you have this one, if you see it has like very small holes in there, that's where this one is supposed to break. But if you get thinset in there, then it's harder to break and the piece can stay inside. So then cleaning was a little bit harder. Now for cleaning, here is definitely worth it. We purchased these diamond blades for the oscillating saw, and I would say they are totally worth it. I was a bit hesitant because they were pricey. They were maybe about $30-something or so, but it's definitely worth it. I tried the manual one, and this makes a huge difference, so I totally recommend it. So we are at the very last step, or at least we hope so. We always get surprises, but let's hope this is the last one. We're going to do grout, and this is the one we're using. We're going to be using Mapei Ultra Color Plus FA in frost color. And here is the thing. We follow Sal Di Blasi. He is a genius for all things tile, and he has two very good tips. So the first one is when you do grout, you need to be very precise and follow the instructions to the letter. And then the other thing is you apply the grout, and then you have to let it dry for about 15 to 30 minutes. But the tip he gives us is touch it with your finger. If it doesn't stick, then it's ready to be cleaned up. Then you clean it up, and then you cannot stand on it for 3 hours. So let's go and do it. So we made it. It was actually the last step, and we didn't get any more surprises. I'm happy enough with the results. Honestly, I wouldn't hire myself to do this job just yet. But you know, for our first styling job, considering all the things we had, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. And you know, this is the shed. This is where we come and practice. That's pretty much the purpose. When we did the framing of the shed, it wasn't perfect, but with the lessons we learned here, the framing of the house turned out pretty good. So we're getting there. We're going to get better with tile. We had this practice. We're going to practice a bit more with the mechanical, and then we have the ADU. So hopefully we're pretty good by then. So in terms of tiling and lessons learned, one thing I would mention for the grout is we thought it would be a thinset, and we were kind of taking our time to install it. Turns out it dries really fast if you are new to this. Mix just a small batch and go fast. Honestly, we were taking our time, and when we tried to get one more, suddenly it was all dried. So we wasted about half a bag of grout. So just keep that in mind if it's your first time doing this. And then finally, what I would mention, the items that I definitely recommend. We got this tip from Paul from the stock pack, and this is, it's called a Grout float. It's molded rubber grout float. It's very nice because since it's rubber, you can use it and it won't scratch the tile. So we definitely recommend it. And the other one, it's the diamond blades for the oscillating, so they definitely make a difference. So with that said, if you enjoyed this video, well, consider giving us a like, subscribe to our channel. We appreciate having you here, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye bye!